Hi students, welcome back. This is Lab 11, VBA number 2. And congratulations, this is the last graded lab that you will ever have this semester. Thank you for sticking with me this semester. So let's get started. It is VBA2, it is a continuation of VBA1, which we have done a couple weeks ago. It's a variation and a deepening of understanding of VBA. So if you remember from VBA1, we did it through a Word document, basically through the assignment sheet that I provided you with. You opened the assignment sheet and you navigated to the coding part of VBA. This time we're going to do it through Excel. So if you will, open a new Excel document just like this one. As soon as you open it, I've already renamed it, but as you open it, please click on Save As and modify it to the correct format. And most importantly, please save it as a macro-enabled Word document, because otherwise it will just show up as a blank Excel document that I can't really see your VBA code in the back, and that would not enable me to grade you properly. So please do that first and save momentarily as you go. So once I click save, give it a moment. Okay, so as it changed to VBA2 and my last name. So that is the proper format for your submission, and you only need to submit one document, which is this document, which needs to be macro enabled. Very important. So second thing I want you to do is immediately change whatever is here. It used to be sheet 1, so go ahead and change it to course space bookings, and you need the first letters of course and bookings to be capitalized, and you need course bookings. So many students would miss the S at the end. It will somewhat mess up your code because in the background it's coded as course bookings. So if you put it anything different than a course space bookings, it won't be able to look up this proper sheet. So please go ahead and change it exactly to what I have in here. After you're done with that, let's take a look at the assignment sheet. So today the target is that through Excel, we're going to use VBA coding to create an interactive form just like this one, which is used. Imagine that you're collecting a bunch of information from different people with different departments and enrolled in different courses, and they're going to come attend a conference that you're hosting, and they have different levels of expertise, and they can choose their lunch preferences. So imagine that you're collecting that information from them and you're creating a form for them. So it should be interactive. They can input their names, select their departments, and by clicking OK, somewhat is documented in this Excel sheet in our example. So here I'll show you a quick example of how the end product should work. So I already have my form here, and then all I need to do is to run it. Here I'll enter my phone number and then my department and the course that I'm enrolled in. And I'll say I'm advanced level. I want lunch, but I'm not necessarily a vegetarian. I can go ahead and clear the form, which will just allow me to re-enter, and then I'll do it again. And then after that, if I cancel, well, which I won't do right now, you will exit out of this form as if you've never done anything in the form. But I'll click on OK. As you can see, my information is, now I can cancel. So now my information is entered in here. So that is the end product you're supposed to have today, and let's see how we can create that. So first, if you're on a Windows machine, Same as what we did in VBA1, you're going to click Alt F11 to go into the code editor. For Mac users, I know a couple of you are following me and using Macs, which is awesome. You can just go to developer and click on editor. So as I click on editor here, I've already created this one, so I will go ahead and create a different one, just like user form, and I'll show you an example. I won't do everything that I did for form course booking, but I will show you an example in this one. So double click on that. And here's like a scratch pad for you to put in the ingredients of your form. So it looks like a patch for the form, but it doesn't have anything on it. So now we're gonna create all of it. So you can follow the instructions on the sheet, but here I'm just gonna tell you quite a few things that I think people usually trip up on. So for Windows users, I think you can just go ahead and click on this gray patch, and then you can resize this form. For Mac users, somehow like our settings are not as convenient as the Windows users, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. So properties, here I want to stress an important concept between name and caption after I change the size of this scratch pad right here. So I can do the width, I think it's a little too wide. I want it to be a little thinner, so 300. And then I want, hold on, okay, here's the height. I think the height is a little too short, so I want it to be longer, like 400. Now this thing looks a little bit more like this right here, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to change the caption is the display name, I would say, for your form. So in this case, we want the display name just like this is. I want it to be course booking form. This name here is a name, but it's not a display name like a label is, but it's being referred to in the code. So if my code wants to do anything on this user form form 1 for now, it will recognize this thing as my user form 1. So this name is also very important, even though it's not being displayed to your user, it's being used constantly by your code. So it's very, very important that you get it right. So let's see what this requirement tells us to do. So here it's very, very important that you change it. These are very important. That's why I assigned 10 points to it. If you don't type in the names exactly as these are, your codes will not run. And it's so hard to debug when you mistype. So please pay a lot of attention to these. So here I will change I'm not changing the color. I'm changing this. So let's see if I can delete it this way. Oh, won't let me delete. Okay, here. I will change it to FRM, connotating form, course booking, and the capitalizing is very important here because it's case sensitive in the code. So you want it to be exactly, again, the same as these. Every year I see people tripping up on this, and they can't, either they take a long time with me to debug what they had spelled wrong, or they just can't do it and they have to rebuild their form. So it's a lot of time wasted that way, so please don't do that. And then after, oh, did it not change? It didn't change for me. Okay, let's do it again. FRM course booking. There we go. Conflicts. Oh, okay, I already did it once. The reason is that, okay, I'm going to change it to slightly different because I did, if you remember, I've done it before. I've done this assignment. So there's another course booking form in the other form that I just created. So I will go ahead and do this. but for you, you should do FRM course booking. So I'm done with that. Now I will build the essential elements of this. So I'll build it really quickly. It won't be as perfect as the one in product that I've just showed you, but it will show you the gist of it. So all I'm doing is copying and pasting my labels. Just want to make sure that they're uniform sized and they look nice. There we go. So I have 3 labels, and I don't really care about the names for now. They're just lined up like that nicely. And then after I'm done, I didn't bother to adjust the spaces in between, which you should have uniform space like these are. But for now, I'm just illustrating how like the buttons you're supposed to click. So here we go. These are text boxes that your users are supposed to enter text with. And then here are some drop downs. I'm sure if you have filled a form online, you know these very well. So yeah. Okay, there we go. So it's shaping up. It's kind of starting to look like this now. So we're gonna create a little frame box and then check buttons. So all I'm doing is copying and pasting Control-C and Control-V just to make sure everything is lined up. And then square checkbox. I want it to be lined up. And then I'm going to make a same one as this one, Okay. And then I want a few buttons, right? I want 3 buttons. I want them to have all the same format. There we go. Are they lined up? Maybe. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. It's kind of looking like this now, and it's looking pretty nice and spaced out. And then after that, I will worry about the labels all together. So I will do, I'll click, oh, no, I really shouldn't have done that. So I will go to properties, and then remember we have already changed, the name you would have changed it to form course booking. Well, because I already had one, so I changed it to course booking 1 just to be the same, just to be different than the one that I've created. So now we're done with the user form. Let's go to label 1. No, I don't want this. So let's see if we can. Let's check them one by one. So I go to label 1, and now what we want to do is change the caption to what you want your user to see. So you want your user to see, in this case, name, and here you're going to refer to the list on the left, right? So LBL, meaning label name. So that is so immediately it's changed. So I'm just gonna be lazy and go ahead and click on every one of them. That's the reason I didn't bother to change the label name before, because I'm gonna change the caption and the label names all together. So I'm not gonna go change it, but this is phone, it's department, and this is courses. And you can go ahead and change everything in one setting in here. And then after you're done with everything, you change the frame name, the option buttons, everything, including all the command buttons. And your form should look exactly like this. Without this ribbon right here, but then all the buttons should appear exactly like this. And then of course you need to change the labels too. So after you do that, now we need to worry about the code. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Control-C copy this, and then I will delete everything. All I did is double clicked on this gray area, and this code sheet came up, and I will paste whatever I have copied in here, and you can read the details of why and how we're using the initialization of the user form down below in the notes. So I have all the notes for you. It tells just about every line what it does, what it means. So after you're done with that, we created these buttons, but they don't really click right now, right? So they should all have a function. So here it tells you what they do, and we're actually enabling the buttons to click and click exactly how we want it to be. So we're just gonna go ahead and copy all these definitions of these buttons to make sure that they work the way we want it to be. And then the notes will tell you just about how exactly each and every line works. We're gonna skip that for now. And then you need an extra line of the code right here to make sure the ticks work. And then for the checkboxes. At the end, we're gonna wanna be able to open the course bookings form. So we're gonna add that. And that's all the code you will need, all the code. So that's as simple as it gets. You find them in the assignment sheet, you copy them, and you paste them in order. So make sure that your sheet is clean and it starts with general. A lot of people, I don't know why, but like people in the past have gone into like different buttons, so they really shouldn't do that. Just go to general and make sure you're not at anywhere else but open course bookings form. So that's where you're supposed to be. And then when you coded, did I just click out of where I'm supposed to be? No, maybe not. But you get what I'm saying. Like, just don't mess with many things. As you go into different sections, you know, if you're defining clear form, it will automatically go to clear form. So you don't need to change anything on the top. That's what I'm trying to say. So just enter the codes as it is in order as it's displayed in the assignment sheet and save it. Press Control S to save it. Make sure your code is in the background and you close everything. So for me, when I go back to my editor, here's the new one that I created with you, which is incomplete and I don't want it. So I don't want this. I want this. So I will go ahead and go into this and run it. So there we go. There we go again. So this was the form that I showed you at the beginning of this video demonstration. So that's the complete form format. And you're supposed to, I think you're supposed to enter, yeah, you're supposed to enter these people's information in here. So for example, I'm gonna do one more example, maybe incomplete, but Rashim and his information. I can't really see him, so I'm just gonna put some random information. He's vegetarian, and then I'll say okay. So Rashim's information will be here. So after you're done with all three people that I listed for you here, imaginary people, you're done, and then we're gonna X out of the forms that we've created. It's working, it's great. And the last thing you should remember to do is encrypt or password protect your homework. So right here for Mac users, you're going to do file password. So I've already set my password to 1110, and please for you do the same thing. If you set your password to your password that I won't know, I won't be able to open your file and grade it. It has happened in the past that their files are so protected that I can't even open it. So if I can't open it, I can't grade it. So please set it to 1110. And you don't need to set anything to modify because that would just be too complicated. Just the password to open and say okay. If you have a Windows machine, I believe you need to go to Files, which is also on the left corner right here. Go to File, and then you will be able to see there's an option on the white portion of this thing that you have just opened, it will say password protection, and just click on that. You'll be able to set your password there. So that's it for this assignment. Well, thank you again for listening to me and subscribing to my videos all semester long. And I hope to see you on Thursday. And for Bob's and Meneksh's students, thank you for listening as well. I will see you later.